Okay, well, welcome everybody. Nice to see everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on your lunch break, and we really appreciate you all being here. If I could just ask everyone to start off by muting themselves, and then so I'm getting a little feedback on this. So if everyone can mute, that would be great, and we'll get underway. So just a little reminder, we are recording this webinar. We'll be sending out the recording afterwards, but just to let you know that we are recording. And I want to start off by saying thank you so much for being here today and being part of Power to Summit 2023. We are super excited to see so many new and familiar faces joining us again for this really fun fundraising challenge event. And we really appreciate your support and ongoing support of Power to Be. Without you participating, we wouldn't be able to provide all the programs for inclusive nature access that we do. So thank you. I'm just filled with gratitude for your participation and support. I'm going to start off as well with our land acknowledgement. So I know that we have people joining us from many, many different places. And I'm speaking to you today from North Vancouver, so the traditional lands of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh. And I know that a lot of the folks on this call will be doing their elevation gain and participating on the lands of Coast Salish peoples. So I'd like you just to take a brief moment and invite you to reflect on the lands where you currently are, and really just be thankful for the opportunities that these lands give you and the opportunities to play, live, enjoy, and just, please take a moment to reflect on that. You. I know I'm thankful for the beautiful day I see outside my window in North Vancouver right now. So I'm going to start off by introducing our Power to Be team, who we have supporting Power to Summit this year. As I call your name out, please just briefly unmute yourself and give a little wave and a hi. So I'm starting with the incredible Kirsten, who is our Power to Summit event lead. Kirsten, can you say hi?
Hey gang, nice to see everyone again. And new faces, lots of new faces, which is fantastic. And now I'm going to mute myself so we don't hear barking Charlie in the background.
Next up, I'd like to introduce Asha, who is our race relations lead for Power to Summit.
Hello, I'm Asha. You probably have had emails from me or have reached out. If you have any questions throughout this webinar or after the webinar or anything in advance to race weekend, let me know and I'm happy to jump on a call or get back to you.
Thanks. Next up is Graham, our race inclusion ambassador.
Good afternoon, everyone. Nice to see you on the little box in front of us. I look forward to supporting you any way I can to get you out into the wilderness in 2 weekends and making this happen.
And Kira, who is our communications and marketing guru for Power to Summit. We've lost Kira.
Lost Kira. Well, Kira's fabulous.
Hey.
We'll find her again. Oh, there she is. Yay. That's that.
I'm not Ian, I'm Elise. I'm just on his computer, I guess.
Hi, Elise. We're just getting underway.
Awesome.
And we also have joining us on the call, Dana, who is Power to Be's co-CEO, and also for Power to Summit, she is one of our cheerleader extraordinaires. So Dana, I know you've got a little voice thing going right now, but if you can give a wave and a little cheer.
Hi, everyone. Cheering, cheering. It's going to be awesome.
Awesome. And to introduce myself, I'm Charlotte. I'm so grateful again that you're all part of Power to Summit. I'm thrilled to be supporting this event and can't wait to see everyone's elevation, photos and stories, and hopefully have the opportunity to meet a lot of you in person at our events over the next couple of weeks. So as I mentioned, we are recording this webinar. If you have any questions, please do pop them into the Q&A and we will have an opportunity at the end to answer all those questions for you. So please do share your questions and comments with us. We want to hear from you.
Just pop them in the chat and because some of them questions may come along the way that will be answered. So as we go through the webinar, so pop in the chat and anything that isn't addressed, we'll do that during the Q&A.
Perfect. Okay, well, I want to thank our sponsors. Power to Summit would not be possible and our presenting sponsor for Power to Summit 2023 is Newmont Canada. They have a team taking part, and we're looking forward to having them join us again this year, and thank them for being our presenting sponsor. And our other sponsors, we have TELUS, who is our social media sponsor. They've got 4 teams. Us. Takeoff sponsor is Helijet with a couple of teams. Our community sponsors are Castles and BD with 2 or 3 teams apiece. Our elevation sponsors, BMO, Petro Value, Red Brick, and Megson Fitzpatrick Insurance Services. And our glacier sponsors, Oak Bay Marine Group, with PI Financial with Ocean Wealth, and our media sponsors, the Globe and Mail, Times Colonist, and Ocean Radio 98.5. So it would not be possible to do this event without all their support. We can't thank them enough. And also to thank our event partners. These folks are making this event possible by filling up your racer kits. They're providing the treats and supplies for our countdown parties and the prizing for our competitions. So big thank you to all of our event partners. So to give you a little bit of the history of Power to Summit and how you've ended up joining us to take on Mount Logan. Back in 2010, our Power to Be, the founder of Power to Be, along with participants and donors, went to Africa and they summited Kilimanjaro. In honor of the 10th anniversary of that summit back in 2020, we decided to virtually summit Mount Kilimanjaro. And since then, we've been tackling all the biggest and best mountains. So this year, in recognition of Power to Be's 25th anniversary, we thought it appropriate to bring the climb back to Canada. And we are tackling Canada's highest mountain, Mount Logan. For those of you who've participated before, you know that each mountain's got its own challenges, its own elevation, and we're looking forward to seeing you all take this challenge on this year. Next up, I want to chat about our Power to Summit Facebook group. So this race is interactive, it's in person and it's online. And the best place to connect and share your stories, share your photos is in our Facebook group. We especially also use this space to communicate with our racers in the lead up to the race. and during race weekend. So the most up-to-date and fastest information you'll be finding in that Facebook group. I know not necessarily everyone is on social media, so if you can try and at least designate one member of your team to join the group and share your photos and stories on there, that would be appreciated. It's already getting a lot of chatter in there already. I hope those that have joined are liking and commenting on everyone's posts. So we look forward to seeing all your faces in the group. I want to mention as well, right now we have the first of our challenges happening. We have the TD Environment Challenge. So from May 1st to May 12th, please post your photos of being out in nature, of your training for Power to Summit, and be sure to include the hashtags TDP2S and our Power to Summit hashtag, Power to Summit 2023. Please also tag us, Power to Be, in those posts. And the more times you post, the more chances you have to win. And you could win a $100 gift card to Cactus Club. We've seen some engagement in this already, especially I want to give a shout out to Brenda and the Summit Sisters, who have put together some fabulous pics for this challenge, and also a really fun video. So make sure you check out the Facebook group. You can see it there. It's a lot of fun. So take some inspiration from the Summit Sisters and get those photos posted. A new incentive that we've got this year is we want to encourage you with your fundraising in the lead up to our event. So from May 16th to May 25th, the top fundraising team, so the team that has raised the most during that 24-hour period of each day, will receive an additional $100 donation to their team, courtesy of an anonymous donor. And also you will receive a Fjallraven backpack, which you can give to your team's top donor to date. So a little incentive to get your asks out and get people donating as much as possible, because they could have a chance to win as well. More racer incentives at the $1,500 level and the $2,500 level. What are they, I hear you ask? Well, this one is a pretty good incentive, especially for anyone that wants to save their legs a bit. So teams that raise $1,500 by race start, so 11:59 a.m. on Friday, May 26th, you will get virtually choppered in by helijet to the Hubbard Glacier. This means that you will only have to summit 4,679 meters. So this reduces your summit by 1,280 meters, which I worked out is roughly the equivalent of 1.5 grouse grinds or 4 Mount Finlaysons. So it's a good incentive. It'll save your legs and it'll get you on your way. So it's a good one to aim for. And our next fundraising incentive is again for teams that raise $2,500 race start, so 11:59 a.m. on Friday, May 26th. Your team will be entered into a draw for a one-night stay in an ocean view suite at the Brentwood Bay Resort and Spa. This is a beautiful place to stay. So it's a great one to encourage your team to fundraise for. Next up on our challenges, we have the TELUS Social Media Challenge. The more posts you make, the more chances you have to win. And this year, your team could receive Apple AirPods. So you'll want to be participating in this. Please be sure to include the hashtag Power to Summit 2023 and also to tag Power to Be, and TELUS. So there in the slide, you can see our handles for Instagram and Facebook. And make sure in your photos that you have your lovely racer bib on view so we know who you are. And also make sure that all the teams involved in the photos. So if you're all summiting in the same place together, get together, take a group shot, or if you're summiting virtually together in different locations, get everyone to take an individual photo and put it together for the post. We want to see your faces, we want to see where you are, and it's a really fun way to share your summit with your supporters and with all the other racers. And next up, we have our awards.
Attempting. My computer's being finicky. Just give me 1 second.
I'll start talking about them,
Okay.
and then you can make the slide later. So we have lots of different competitions. I've already mentioned a few, but we have awards and prizes for a whole host of folks. Our Act of Kindness Award goes to the team who has raised the most by race finish, which is 4 p.m. Sunday, May 28th. We have prizes for our fastest team. We have prizes for our top individual fundraiser, best dressed. So make sure you're already thinking about your costumes. I know I've chatted with a few folks already with your costume ideas, so can't wait to see photos of that in the Facebook group. Team Spirit Awards go to our teams that are showing great enthusiasm. And, oh, lost my place. Yeah, Team Spirit goes to our teams that are showing great enthusiasm, doing unique things, spreading the message of inclusion. And we also have additional prizes to our top fundraising individuals during the race. So our top fundraising individuals on the Friday and the Saturday of the race. We will have an award and prizing guide landing in your inboxes tomorrow, which will share all the prizes that are associated with those different categories. Check it out, and we want to see you all trying for all of those awards. Just wanted to also share some of the amazing fundraising ideas that have already been happening and are about to be happening from some of the teams participating in Power to Summit. So big shout out to these folks. And if you are doing any unique and fun fundraising activities to support your Power to Summit team, please drop them in the chat, and we'd love to hear about them, and we'd love to share and promote. So the Green Kiss in Victoria, currently they have a promotion on for 3 different items that are very appropriately selected for Power to Summit, and 40% of sales of these items will be going to Power to Be. So if you're in Victoria, pop on down to their store. If you're not in Victoria, you can buy online. We have shared this in our Facebook group, so please check it out. They've got lots of great items. Alacrity, they are doing a pie in the face fundraiser on May 19th. It's amazing how many donations they get when it comes to being able to throw pies at their colleagues and bosses. So it's a lot of fun. Summit Sisters. They, unfortunately, if you haven't already bought your tickets, they are sold out, but they are doing Power to Puppy, which is puppy yoga. I'm very sad that I did not get my tickets in time. And TELUS, their teams are hosting an internal raffle within their company. Power to Be staff, we hosted an auction where we donated our skills and our items, and it was a lot of fun. We raised almost $3,000 for the Power to Be Wilderness School team. Some of the things we auctioned off were a lesson in how to roll a kayak, and someone baked a beautiful cake. So there's, even if you think you don't have the skills, there's always some interesting skills on your teams. And then also our Power to Be Wilderness School team hosted a bake sale at Prospect Lakes Have a Go Day. So lots of different ideas. I saw a few. Kirst, did you see a few being commented in the chat there?
There are quite a few, and so we'll capture those and we'll share them in the email that will include the prizing awards and a copy of this webinar tomorrow.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see all the creativity and fun everyone's having with their fundraising. I think I saw someone mention mini golf. That sounds like fun.
And another thing is you can, in one cause, you can create a fundraising event, and when you create that fundraising event, it will share it with all the people that are racing. So if anyone has questions about that, Asha can happily guide you through that.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to hand it over now to Graham to go through our race rules.
Thank you so much, Charlotte.
Trying.
Trying.
It either wants to skip 3 slides or stop. Give me
That's
half
fine.
a sec, guys.
This gives me time to, Charlotte got to do all the fun stuff, and now I get to be the rule guy and impose all these restrictions and rules on you to have fun out there while being safe and inclusive and responsible. So as the screen will change over, and as I'm sure you already know, is that the race, you can begin your race at 12 noon on Friday, which will be obviously in the middle of the day, most likely, depending on where you are in the Pacific Northwest. And when you're out there, please only be out from sun up to sundown on the Saturday. All right. So no climbing in the dark. And of course, as you know as well, the cutoff will be 4 p.m. on Sunday. So please only do it in the daylight hours. This is a non-motorized race. So no, what we mean by that is no bikes, no skateboards, scooters, that sort of thing to gain your elevation. But please, if you need a device to gain your elevation or to partake in the race, please let me know, because this is all about getting folks outside into nature together in community for a great cause. And we want to be as inclusive as possible. So if you are in need of some adaptability tools, please let us know and we can help support. What we have here is a route card. So for all of Power to Be programs, when we're out in nature, in kind of backcountry areas, we leave some information with a responsible adult. You can decide who that's going to be in your life, with some information as to where you'll be, what you're doing, and when you are expected back. This is just in the event something goes wrong out there, and you just want to have somebody who is in cell service, etc., who can support you if you are not back when you need to be back. And as previously mentioned, the cutoff time is Sunday, May 28th at 4 p.m. So in order to qualify for all the fun stuff that Charlotte was talking about, you need to have your numbers in, your elevation, your time, and everything plugged into the interweb by 4 o'clock, please, on the Sunday. And again, we'll be wrapped up racing by then. My contact information, I'm sure, will be shared with you, is at the bottom of that route card as well, if you ever need to reach out between now and then. And then, of course, over that long weekend or over the weekend of the race, please feel free to reach out if I can support in any way, suggestions of places to go. Again, some adaptability tools you may need, and be happy to support.
Thanks, Graham. You made the rules sound really fun.
So fun. Rules are fun.
Yes, they enhance the fun. So here is our beautiful Mount Logan race map. You'll be checking this out lots over race weekend. This will be an interactive map. So as you do your elevation and input day by day how much your team has climbed, you'll get to see all the little dots of all the little teams climbing up the mountain. So as you can see there, for those teams that do raise $1,500 before race start, where there's the little helicopter, that's where you'll see your team starting from. We will be sending out an instructional video on how to track your time and elevation. But it's very simple. And for those teams that wish to participate in the fastest team category, you'll be entering your time into the tracking, which looks just like this. And again, please enter your time before race cutoff at 4 p.m. Pacific time on Sunday to qualify for that competition. As mentioned already, racers must wear their bibs throughout the race, but where do you find your bib? You find it in your racer kit. So for teams that raise $500 by May 19th, you'll receive your kits pre-race. Teams that raise $500 after that date will have their racer bibs sent as a PDF and will receive their kits post-race. That just allows us time to get your kits out to you. But the most important thing is what is in your kits. So we had a lot of fun packing these this weekend. Asha and her hardy team of volunteers packed hundreds of these kits, and they're ready for your collection. So we have our fantastic Arc'teryx hat in an assorted variety of colors. You might have to battle it out with your teammates, who gets what. We have our lovely tote bag provided by TELUS. And inside this bag, for during your hike, to give you some sustenance, you have Hornby granola bar and Petro Value jelly beans. Give you some energy on your summit. After your summit, if you need some light refreshment, there's a beer provided by Driftwood Brewing, or if you selected the non-alcoholic option, a soda from Spinnaker's. And then after you've done your summit and you're thinking, you know what, I want to get outside more, I need some more gear, we have our $50 off voucher from Fjallraven, which you can spend at their stores and also, I believe, online. And then last but not least, we have our coveted, absolutely coveted, especially for those who've been doing Power to Summit for a few years now, our Mount Logan pin badge. And then finally, we have an information an information card providing information about Power to Be. We've heard from racers that they're often asked when they're out on the trails wearing their bibs. They're asked by members of the public, what are you doing? Who are you doing this for? So we've got a little info card in there that you can share with them and provide some details about why you're out and who you're supporting.
I feel like I needed my
Countdown parties, these are coming up soon. You will have received an invitation in your mailbox, in your email. Please make sure you RSVP ASAP. We have our first countdown party happening this Sunday at Prospect Lake from 12 till 3. And we have our Vancouver countdown party happening at Terminal City Club Wednesday, May 17th from 5 till 7. If your teams have reached your $500 fundraising target, you can collect your racer kits then and there. If you haven't, please still come along and enjoy the fun regardless. If you only have time to pop by, please do feel free to come by and pick up your kits. Just come and say hi. And also, if you only have 1 or 2 members of your team that can attend, that's absolutely fine if they want to pick up racer kits on behalf of the team. We will be hosting a post-race celebration online at 5 p.m. on Sunday, May 28th. And during this, we'll be announcing all of our prize winners. And if you can't make it, don't worry, we'll be sending out information on the following Monday with all of our winners and announcements. And this is the most important slide. So where are we currently at on our summit? Fundraising to date, we have raised an incredible $77,389. I'm pretty sure that amount's a bit higher already. It just keeps climbing. We're so grateful for all of the fundraising that you're doing. And to let you know, our target for Power to Summit 2023 is to raise $330,000. We are over 20% of the way there. So I encourage you all to keep pushing, keep fundraising, and I know we're going to hit this target together. So thank you in advance for all of your fundraising support. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the Q&A. Kirst, were there any questions in the chat?
Yes, there was one that I've seen so far, and we can take a look and see if there are more, as I've been trying to guide the deck all the way through, attempting. One question is, if we aren't on social media, how do we learn about all the things that are shared in social media? See, the majority of the information can be found on OneCause on your page. If you look at the navigation bar at the top, and check out what's happening and race resources, all the information that we've covered here today will be found there. Again, too, like I said before, on the fundraising events, please, as teams, share your fundraising events. Once you post those, they'll go into a calendar, and that calendar populates in our navigation bar, so you can keep going in and checking there. As far as, again, not being on social, not a problem. But we do ask that if you aren't posting on social media, that you do send Asha via email if at all possible, or she can also, we can share her work cell with you so that you can text her if need be, a photo of your team. We do compile a really great race video, and we would, at the end of the event, we want to be able to capture everybody who's participating. So totally respect the rules and personal choices around social, but please share at least internally so we can share with your racers some of the fun that you've had along the way. And I think, let's let me, oh, there's a bunch of stuff now. Hold on, let me get into that chat. Great. Awesome, thanks Ayla for sending the fundraising page. Here we go.
I see there's a question about
tracking.
Tracking and apps. Yeah, so use the app, tracking app of your choice. We have no skin in the game. We do, if you don't know what to use, we recommend using Strava. You can use the free version of that. You don't need to pay a subscription or anything for it. And you can have it on your phone, or if you have a smartwatch, attach it to that, and it will track you as you're doing your hike. And will give you your elevation gain for your hike. So that's a good one that we recommend using. But I see some folks are using All Trails, or even, yeah, if you don't have a smartphone or don't have a smartwatch that you can track as you go, you can always use things like All Trails or something to see how your route, how much elevation your route has via tracking it on a digital map.
And there's a question if you can pick up racer kits if you haven't raised $500. Unfortunately, we do require teams to have raised $500 in order to receive a racer kit. But I'm sure you can get there. We're, yeah, hopefully you can be one of the top fundraising teams in the first couple of days of the incentives and get that $100. So there you go. But do come to, even if you haven't raised your $500 yet, please do come to the countdown parties, because it's great to have an opportunity to be able to see your fellow racers in person and get a little competition going that way.
Any other questions? Can speak now or throw it in the chat.
Oh, do we have Times colonists?
Right, for the $500 for the bibs, is it May the 15th that we have to have the $500 or the 19th?
So to guarantee that we'll get them to you in time,
Right.
it's the 19th, and that just guarantees that we can physically get those racer kits to you in time for race start. But as soon as you hit that $500, we'll be getting those racer kits out to you.
Okay.
So if you've reached $500 by May 14th, by noon or whenever you shop on May 14th, we will be able to give you your racer kit then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank
So-
you.
And it is something that we've had to impose. Unfortunately, we've had some teams along the way that have incurred really high courier costs and not fundraised. So this year we've had to put a value to the very valuable kits that we have.
Okay.
Yeah, Mike, that is a good background. I couldn't see it earlier. That's awesome.
Well, I think it sounds like there's no other questions. Thank you again, everyone, for joining. We really appreciate you giving us your time this afternoon. Kirst, you're going to say something?
Well, funny enough, the Arc'teryx hats that we have this year are sort of the hottest one, and those hats were worn by the proprietors of Arc'teryx as they summited Kilimanjaro last month. So there you go.
So they're good hats for summiting.
Yes, and I love that it's the tie-in with the Kili and the history of Power to Summit. It's meant to be.
Not the actual hats, let's be clear, but the same style.
Yes,
of
Same
hats.
style.
No,
Yeah,
we're not
recycling.
sending
It's
sweaty
not
hats.
recycled.
Oh,
No, no.
Just clarification there.
Yes.
Yes, you're getting brand new hats.
Yeah.
Well, yes, thank you everyone for joining. We really appreciate you giving us your time today and over race weekend. Looking forward to seeing you all on Facebook in the group and at our in-person events in Victoria and Vancouver. And enjoy the rest of your afternoon. If you have any questions, please just reach out to us. We're here to help and looking forward to it.
One last thing. If you are coming to the countdown event and you're just popping in, could you please RSVP nonetheless, just so we have an idea of what our numbers are, because you might want to stick around and have a snack or what have you. Okay,
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.